we've seen some badly officiated games this year, and this was easily one of the worst. And one call I will point to right now because it was a game changer. Vikings first possession after halftime. They're facing a 3rd and 17. And at this point in the game, it is only 10-0. So as bad as the Bears have been in offense, or it's 10-3. It's 10-3. The Bears are absolutely still in it. Vikings facing 3rd and 17 from their own, where were they? From their own 15-yard line. Dalvin Cook gets tackled for like a 5-yard gain. Sure punt situation. No, the ref throws a flag and calls a Bears defensive player for a low block. This is the guy.
Somebody.
This is the guy who made the tackle on Dalvin Cook, got called for a low block because he jumped at Cook's legs to tackle him and took out a Vikings offensive lineman while he was trying to make the tackle. Like, what are you supposed to do? So that play is a 15-yard penalty. The Vikings get an automatic first down on 3rd and 17 or 3rd and 18 or whatever it was. And then they go down and score a touchdown on that drive. Which, by the way, that drive also had a 3rd and 3 where the Vikings got stuffed for a 2-yard loss. And that would have been a punting situation. But the Bears got called for unnecessary roughness. And again, the Vikings were given a free first down. So 30 yards in that drive came from 2 15-yard penalties that ended with a touchdown for Minnesota. And once they scored, they were 17-3. The game was effectively over. So, I mean, the refs basically gave them a touchdown on that drive. And that felt like as bad as Minnesota was, and as bad as Chicago and Minnesota, it was just an ugly game, and the refs giving Minnesota 30 yards just doesn't help.
And what set Nagy off wasn't even those two plays, because prior to that, the pass break up in the middle of the field where the Bears defender hit the ball and then his forearm hit the head of the Vikings receiver. That's suddenly a flag. And by the way, when John Perry, the former NFL official who works for ESPN now as a rules official in the booth, is like 5-0 going with the opposite of what was called on the field, maybe you should reevaluate what you're doing. Just a thought. You got 7 guys out there, all wearing blinders, apparently. Again, no rooting interest, but I'm watching this game going, why? Why is it this difficult? And then, towards the end of the game, Matt Nagy was flipping out because he was about to throw a challenge flag on a play that I can't remember. And magically, and this is Brinson's thing, someone in outer space said, "Hey, don't worry about it. Just do the pull a Costanza, do the opposite. No need for him to throw the challenge flag." What are we doing?
You guys are the ones lashing at the officials, so I don't want to go into a whole.
And again, I don't even care. Like, I think it's sort of.
I don't either. It's the Vikings and the Bears. Who gives a crap? But okay, a couple of things. One, the point about am I crazy? Am I wearing a tinfoil hat? And look, it's entirely possible. It's been a weird 24 months.
If you take your hat off, we could see your hair plugs and see if there's a tinfoil hat underneath the hat above your hair plugs.
It's been a weird 24 months. Or 18 months or whatever it is. And by the way, if you want some entertainment about it, you should definitely go watch the South Park COVID Part 2 special on Paramount Plus. If you haven't, have you watched the second one, Breech?
I have not watched it yet.
It's good.
You know what I did though?
Listen, you should watch it because they make fun of something close and dear to your heart.
I'll watch it if you guys watch Reno 911 Search for QAnon, which comes out December 23rd.
I was gonna watch it. I even fired up Paramount Plus, and then up on the screen where they try to lure you in to watch something else, they had A Quiet Place 2, and I hadn't seen that. I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch that, and then I watched that instead of the second.
Isn't that a movie about someone who kills people?
No,
it's about aliens who come and kill you if you talk. Which, if they lived here, you'd be the first one to die, Brinson.
Loudmouth down hard.
Got a loudmouth dunk out of that.
Right into it.
That was pretty good. So anyway, on the officiating thing, I mean, am I going insane? Did the NFL at any point announce a formal decision to utilize Central Replay Command more aggressively in games? They did not, right?
I'll say this: I don't care if they get it right, but it is random.
I like it, but
it's 100% random. And that
shows up more in primetime games. First of all, second of all, they never told anyone they were going to do this, and it's not like the NFL works for the government; is required to issue a public creed, or they don't have to tell everyone what's happening, I guess. But I mean, it's sort of weird to all of a sudden in the middle of the season start just flipping reviews like this out of nowhere. Like Matt Nagy threw his challenge flag and they basically threw the guy a bone and said, "Hey, look, we're sorry about what's happening tonight. We're not going to make you use that challenge flag. We're going to overturn this for you. You get to keep your challenge." I mean, I don't know if I like this better or worse. I don't know if I like this Walt Anderson
It's fine that if they get it right.
Shadow
It's
Command
fine.
better or worse than I like Al Riveron's little lounging in his pajamas and drinking a Mai Tai.
Pajamas in the jacuzzi. It's better because they get these calls right.
Sure, for sure.
But it's more like Wizard of Oz, man behind the curtain. Don't look and see what he's doing. Just turn the other way, and I'll let you know when I'm ready to give you an answer.
Yeah, but then the flip side of that is how dumb do you look in
Very
a
dumb.
primetime game when you challenge a play like the Darnell Mooney catch in the end zone, which clearly the eye in the sky has already looked at it and said, yeah, that's not a touchdown. So otherwise they would have peeped down to the ref and said, hey, you need to flip that and call it a touchdown. And Matt Nagy challenged it anyway.
Would they? How would we know what they were supposed to do or what their plan is?
I think they got that one right, although it was close. I think the takeaway for us collectively and everyone on planet Earth who's watching these games is that the referees on the field typically have no idea what's going on. Let me ask you this, Breech, because I think you actually.
Sorry, I just want to add one more thing to this.
Yeah.
The way to do this is to be more aggressive in how you are going to implement this eye in the sky method and take some of the burden off the referees on the field.
I'm fine with that.
They have way too much going on. If they
clearly,
they're
like a 75-year-old substitute teacher going to lean on me. I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie back in the day with what's his name? Dang it, I can't remember his name.
Oh, I loved it. Wilson.
Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman was the principal who came in and fixed the school. But
what was the one with Coolio, Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah, the same thing. Substitute teacher show.
A tale as old as time.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that.
But they need to be consistent,
and that's Dangerous Minds, Winston.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Oh. Just
substitute teacher was with
yes, when I walked through they quote
was with Tom.
Shadow of Death. I take a look at my life.
Oh boy.
Yeah, boy. We don't
You
need
guys want to hear me? You guys want to hear me rap?
Breech definitely sang Coolio in high school.
I actually, curiously, I do want to hear you rap.
Actually, yeah.
Well, then you need to download my rap podcast that I do on Wednesdays.
Okay.
Wait, let me ask Breech a question because he mentioned this in our little private chat. Invite only. What do you think? Someone asked in the There's a Path asked. I love that name, by the way, in the chat. Should Kendricks have been ejected for the blow to the head to Justin Fields?
I'm fine with that because
I think he should too. I was okay with that as
that
well.
was an egregious hit.
It looked egregious.
And like even
by the way, shout out to your word of day calendar for using egregious there.
I do have a word of the day calendar. Thank you very much. But it was that bad. And as it's not a college thing where he's ejected for the next game, because then I would say probably not. But for the rest of this game, I think it's fine.
I don't mind the ejection for the play in a vacuum. I don't mind the ejection. I just don't understand what they never eject anyone. We saw an offensive offsides in this game and an eject. They never eject anyone for anything in the NFL.
That really felt like the ejection part of that felt like the ultimate makeup call. We're like, man, we've been screwing over the Bears this whole entire game. I mean, the fact that Justin Fields almost didn't get the flag on the play where he kneeled down right in front of the ref, and the ref just stared at him as he was yelling. And then Brinson, your eye in the sky guy in New York, must have said to the ref, hey, man, he was kneeling down. And then that guy body slammed him. I think the ref just thought he just got tackled and sacked. And Fields was like, man, I gave myself up. What am I supposed to do? And the guy put all his weight on him. I mean, it was insane. And then the flag finally comes in late. It was so bizarre. This whole game
it was a comedy of errors. And probably the most comedic part of this whole thing was Matt Nagy was desperately like Billy Martin with the Yankees, me going old school and getting thrown out of a baseball game. He could not get thrown out. Like he had to start throwing haymakers.
He was like, he got that first unsportsmanlike. Also, like he got screwed on a penalty and then gets the unsportsmanlike conduct. He's just berating these refs on the sideline.
That was as happy as I've ever been with Matt Nagy.
But at that point, it's such a weird spot because your team has been assessed 15. You've been not assessed a 15-yard penalty in the first place. You're irate about it, and then the ref is going to jab you with another 15 yards,
and that's what's infuriating. Like, as Breech just noted, they weren't going to call the Justin Fields thing to the 11th hour. It felt like, but that side judge could not wait to throw a flag on Matt Nagy because he made fun of his grandma or whatever he ended up saying.
If Matt Nagy, I said this on Twitter, but like if Matt Nagy had sprinted out onto the field and tackled one of those refs and then thrown his challenge flag on him and been like, challenge this, son, he's getting fired. Maybe there's jail time.
Folk hero.
Surely there's a civil lawsuit and all kinds of problems, but he would go down in people would completely change their opinion of Matt Nagy as the Bears head coach. Just 'cause
No one, like, we don't even talk about it, but we love Travis Kelce. We picked the challenge flag or the yellow flag and threw it 4 or 5 years ago. That was hilarious. Why not?